and then give people an in-out referendum. And only the Conservatives will deliver.
This is a fantasy.
All right, hold on. We'll hear about fantasy in a minute. All right,
it is fantasy.
Yes, now let's just listen to our audience again.
Grant, I think yourself and Caroline and Chuka and your colleagues in the political elite, what you miss about UKIP is that the motivation for what you do politically is almost as important as what you do. So the fact you've now offered a referendum is great, but you'll never claim the political credit for it because you were forced into a position where you had to. Cameron reneged on his cast iron promise.
Yes.
Let me finish, Grant. Let me finish. Then you can come back. Let me finish. And now you're saying, well, we'll put it to you. And people are saying, we don't, as an electorate, it's a funny kind of relationship we have, but we want to be led as much as we want you to listen. Okay. And what UKIP have done is they've put their finger on a problem that concerns a lot of people, and they've led.
Okay.
What you've all done in the mainstream media and the metropolitan elite is you've responded to things happening because you don't understand what life is like for people out there in Britain. You don't understand it.
Hold on.
Caroline Lucas wants to respond to you, and then, of course, Grant Shapps.
Well, I think that gentleman has put his finger absolutely on something incredibly important, because, when people look at people who are going to vote UKIP, and sometimes they're very rude and say, oh, they're racists or they're bigots or whatever, I don't think that's the case. I think they're very angry. I think probably many of you are very, very angry. And that's because it feels to you, I'm sure, as it does to many, that the political elite at Westminster simply doesn't understand your lives. When you look in on them at Westminster, it feels as if they're absolutely out of touch.
Dealing with the question that he asked, yes.
You missed the point. We don't know what will happen in the future. But if we've got elected representatives who we trust, we know that they will deal with the situation in a way that we would want them to. So we don't have this kind of direct democracy.
All right, Grant Shapps, it was addressed to you.
You don't have the trust at the moment.
Grant Shapps.
Well, first of all, the biggest lie that needs to be quashed is that there was somehow a referendum promised in a previous manifesto. That is not the case.
In 2005, all of the major political parties promised a referendum on the European Constitution. You can use June the 4th, this Thursday, the European elections, to demand a referendum from Gordon Brown. The referendum he promised, along with everyone else, back in 2005. The best way to get that referendum is to vote Conservative. Today, we are publishing the bill, the parliamentary bill that could go through Parliament right now to give us that referendum in the autumn when the Irish hold theirs. That's what should happen. This is being done in your name. Don't you think all of us should have a say in the referendum that we were promised?
No, OK, well, show me the page, Nigel. Well, hold on a minute. Yeah. We're talking about the manifesto upon which this Conservative-led government got elected, and there was no referendum in there.
The 2009 European elections, you said, vote for us and we will guarantee you a referendum if we get into
Nigel,
government.
before you...
Nigel.
Nigel.
I'm sorry.
Nigel...
I mean, come on.
Nigel, if you're...
Be straight about it.
Nigel, rather than...